All right, it looks like it's just us now. So,
Okay.
hey.
Hey, everybody, this is Past Dead Paranormal Radio with your host, Roger Belt, and my lovely co host,
So,
Miss Christina Corsetti, over there.
hey.
Hey, everybody, this is Past Dead wait a minute, gotta go shut the chat room down. There we go. Okay, anyway, we have Michelle Fitzpatrick with us. Hi.
Barbara, hold up. Shh. Thank you, sweetie. Barbara,
Yes.
Barbara, we can hear you live on the radio, sweetie. Hey, Barb, go ahead and disconnect, and we'll post it on YouTube later, okay?
Sorry. So
Barbara,
sorry. Hold on.
hold up. Shh. Thank you, sweetie.
Okay, we're good.
Well. Oh
Yep,
my
we're good
gosh.
now.
So sorry, guys.
Little
Wow.
technical
Anyway.
difficulties.
Murphy's Law, people.
Live
Right.
radio.
What will go wrong will go wrong, yeah.
Anyway, as I was saying, we have Michelle Fitzpatrick with us, who is a longtime friend of mine, and she lives over by Waverly Hills. If anybody's interested in going to Waverly Hills and meeting up with Michelle, that'd be cool. I'm gonna try to do that this summer. We wanted to talk
Absolutely.
to you because it's interesting. You have so many different, uh, uh, how would you put it, interests, like paranormal, UFO,
Mhm.
etc. And
Mhm.
so, since I don't know much about it, tell us a little bit about the MUFON. I know what
Well,
this is.
what yeah, Mutual UFO Network. How this came about was actually accidental. Um, a long time ago, before paranormal became popular, I was paranormal when paranormal wasn't cool. We're talking like 25 years ago. And I was a member of a team called WIT. It was an all-woman team that stood for We're in this together. We worked together for about, I'd say, 10 years, and then life happens, marriage, children, woman stuff, and so we kind of had to split ways. We never really broke up. We just kind of took a sabbatical from each other and went on with our lives. But this was back when analog and was really popular. So,
Man,
I debate a lot of time analog versus digital, and there still to this day is a huge debate on which is better. So we split up, and then I temporarily joined another team called Greenlight Paranormal. Um, the founder of that team was really big into YouTube videos, this, that, and the other, and I really wasn't into all that. I was into evidence-based paranormal research, not so much ghost hunting or spirit chasing, all these words. My interest was into the research of it, which totally came about after the death of my sister, who died on the same day Princess Diana died, on August 31st, 1997. So that was my only sibling. So it was then that I started asking questions. Where do we go when we die? I was raised with organized religion, but I always had conflict with organized religion. I think I was born with a scientific mind. Therefore, I was constantly questioning organized religion. Me and my bonding time was watching Carl Sagan's Nova, billions and billions of years ago. So I, like I said, I just had a scientific mind since I can remember. So then, after Greenlight kind of fell apart, I founded with David Nicholson the Kentucky Paranormal Research Team. Now, this has been the most serious team I've ever been involved with. Luckily for us, we had access to all of the fancy smancy equipment. We spent a small fortune on, Ovilus, all of our digital cameras with IR, night vision, K2 meters, of course, which are kind of cheap. But we had the thermal imaging. We had all this stuff. So we really got extremely serious in our research, and we spent 2 years straight just bouncing places after place after place after place. The amount of evidence we caught was astounding. There is one place in particular in Cayuga, Indiana, aka Eugene, Indiana, that I visited 5 times in 1 year. That is like ridiculous for me. Normally I go into a place, I gather my evidence, I review the evidence, I make a determination, and then I'm done. I move on. I've been to Ashmore, I've been to Waverly, I've been to a lot of famous places on this side, like from the top of Indiana down. I haven't really gone out to the West Coast yet, like the Queen Mary and all that. But this one place in Indiana was so freaking active. And we caught so much evidence. I was getting an EVP every 30 seconds. And each investigation, 6 to 7 hours worth of EVP recordings. And I'm telling you, Class A every 30 seconds. Sometimes the same voice, sometimes different voice. Direct answers, they were very much intelligent. So I started tinkering around with different theories, and I kept going back, and I kept going back, and I kept going back. Well, the last time I went there was on, okay, let me give you some background real quick. On one side of the family, my father's side, actually, he's an atheist. However, his side of the family is Jehovah's Witness. So I was very much exposed to organized religion and Jehovah's Witness. On my mom's side of the family, we are Cherokee Indian. My dad did a genealogy, and we date back to the Anglo-Saxons, Dramatic, and Cherokee Indian blood. So I've always kind of been intuitive since I can remember. Let me pick up where I just got squirreled. Anywho, so for me to go back to one place 5 times in 1 year is really unheard of, and dragging my team. But the place was just so off the charts active. So me and a girlfriend of mine went. Well, okay, let me back up once again. I'm so sorry. About 22 years ago, I decided to join a Druid grove. So I was very much a practicing pagan. I worked my way up to High Priestess. And so I was really into the earth, Gaian, the whole witchcraft thing. So I believed myself, if I worked the proper protection, the sage, the crystals, the whole nine. So I really wasn't afraid to go into this place and have anything affect me, because I was misled in thinking that I could control anything. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because of the paganism. We went on what most people call Halloween. For a witch, it's called Salem. It is October 31st. So me and a girlfriend of mine went to this location on October 31st, and I ran out of that location, and I've never done that before, and something followed me home. That's never happened to me before, and it terrorized me for a year and a half. I also had something happen to me that led to MUFON. I was, and I don't know, the people who know me know that I'm a very down-to-earth person. I have a degree in criminology and forensic science, a bachelor's, as a matter of fact. Most of my friends are cops. I am very much sane. But what happened to me was so astounding. I really don't know how to explain it other than I was taken psychically to what I call another realm, maybe an interdimensional realm, and I lost 6 hours of time, and I was shown things. That right there is where I made the breakthrough to leave the so-called paranormal ghost research and head off into the it forked, like it was more than ghost. And it was also then that I decided that these spirit ghost things may not be human. And I've been doing research from that was 3 years ago. I've been doing research in that area, and that's when I joined MUFON. I'm not convinced that the things that we run into.
Hello, where'd you go?
Oh, we lost her.
Well, she's still there. Hopefully she'll get her sound back in a minute.
Maybe her computer froze.
Could be. That's some interesting stuff, though. I don't know personally.
Oh, there we go. I didn't hear the first part. We lagged or dropped out. Okay.
Yeah, you're back.
Go ahead, Roger.
Oh, I kind of agree with you on not everything that we contact. I don't think is human spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And being raised a Christian, you know, I learned all about, you know, demonic and all this kind of stuff. But I'm not one of these people that run around screaming everybody's got a demon. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
A lot of people do that. They'll go in somebody's house, like, well, you got a demon. I remember hearing about one where they told us this person they had 5 demons in their house.
Wow.
Well, a lot of that's mistaken too. Evil spirits versus demons, or you know.
Yeah, because they're, you know, you can have, for lack of a better word, a ticked off spirit that can be all kind of hell, and you'll think it's a demon.
One would have to believe in God for there to be demonic activity.
Well,
you feel me?
But what I'm saying here, when I say demon, that's the religious context.
Okay.
I believe that also pagans also have their form of evil spirits, which would be their term of demonic. You see what I'm saying? It's not necessarily.
No, because pagans don't believe in demons. No.
That's what I
disagree.
That's what
pagans do not believe in demons. Period.
That's what I just
oh,
said.
I'm sorry. Did I misunderstand? I'm sorry if I did.
No, they don't call them demons.
Sorry.
They have their version of evil spirits. Okay, which may not.
Okay.
Like I said,
I agree.
They don't say, yeah, you have a demon. They whatever their term is for evil spirit. You know.
Okay. Mhm.
That's kind of what I was trying to get across. Is, you know, call it what you will. It's the same thing. You know, you can call it a demon if you're religious.
Sort of.
You can call it something else if you're not. You know.
Mhm.
Now, do we talk to aliens and think we're talking to spirits? That's a possibility. Yes, I agree.
Well, Mary in chat had a question, and that is, how can you be sure that the entity or spirit is a former human soul or extra-dimensional entity in the alien category?
And that's basically what we were just talking about.
Yes.
You really don't.
And actually, you don't know, right, Roger? There really is very little evidence to support either way. We think, you know, because we have been conditioned and programmed to believe that we are talking to passed on people.
Right.
I have since done a ton of research, and I've had my own experiences that validates that's not necessarily the case between the two. Good question. And right now, we don't have enough evidence to even validate a theory to base that upon, unfortunately. I really wish I could answer that question. So right now, we just don't know.
Okay. I had a question here that Christina had brought up, and of course I know it is, but it says, does the Mutual UFO Network cases range all over the United States? Not only all over the United States, but all over the world, basically.
The world, yes, all over the world. I get a newsletter newsletter once a month that tells me the amount of reports that happens in every country. The United States is always at the top of the list. Right underneath us is usually the United Kingdom, England. Underneath that, Australia. Underneath that, you very seldom see like China. You very seldom see like most of the Asian countries. You very seldom see Africa because they don't have internet to report to MUFON. But the top 3 countries that do report to MUFON are United States, Canada, and England. But the United States is usually 632. This is just like a wild number. They're usually a whole lot. Canada will be like maybe 120, and then England will be like 82. So the United States always trumps.
This is the evidence of extraterrestrial crafts that they've seen?
That they believe are UFOs. And now here's another interesting thing. I've done a lot of research into reverse engineering on crashed crafts. That's a mouthful. Crashed crafts. And I do believe that some of the crafts that people are seeing have been reverse engineered by humans, and they are test flying them.
Exactly.
I do not believe that they are alien inhabited crafts.
The black triangles, I believe they're ours.
Yeah, I do too. I believe a lot of them are ours. Now let's like go really deep into this just for a nanosecond. Here with it's Dr. Stephen Greer. Dr. Stephen Greer. He does a lot of work on what they call CM5, where he works. Okay, you got the 4 levels of communication. Okay, well he delves in the 5th, which is actual contact with ET. And a lot of times, if you look at his footage, the beings that come through are sphere beings. A lot of people would call them orbs. Wait a minute, let me do this. I have to do this. Okay, don't like the orb word. But the things that I've seen on some of his footage are pretty friggin' cool, because they will do a collective meditation, and they will communicate, and they will draw down the entities, and they will show up. And they are typically in a 1 by maybe like a 1 foot spherical circular entity, and they are light beings. You got to remember that the things that are above us, the entities that are above us, are in other dimensions. They're not going to show up in a spacesuit. They're not going to show up in a spacecraft. Why would they? I mean, their technology is so more advanced than us. They could literally transmit by thought. They can transmit. I get really passionate about this stuff, so I need to calm down. But go ahead. Ask me another question.
Oh, go ahead, Christine.
I was curious. I was curious that with these crash sites, if there's any beings that were seen around them.
Within MUFON, there's a fantastic show that takes cases that are out. It's called Hangar 1, and it is about MUFON files. And there's a couple of people that have testified that they have been on site for some of these crashes, and they had like security clearance level whatever 1,000. I mean, like the highest. And one in particular, they showed up. I think it was Roswell, actually. They showed up, and the people who went into the craft instantly got sick, and they all died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because you got to remember that wherever they're from, they're carrying bacteria, viruses.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Yeah, you can Google it. It's out there. And the people entered their space. The scientists entered their space. They all came out, and they were in like the hazmat gear. They all come out, took off their hoods, and all started puking. So it was able to permeate through their hazmat suits.
Wow.
They all died, and yeah, like, for me, it's like yesterday's news. For people who don't research this stuff like I do, it's new, you know. So, yeah, definitely Google the Roswell. There's a, I can't right now think of his name. And I'm being a really bad investigator because I'm horrible with names. But yeah, there have been many crashes. Actually, have either of you heard of Dulce? Dulce, New Mexico?
Yeah.
Dulce,
Yeah.
New Mexico. Okay, Area 51 gets a lot of hype. Area 51 is a facade. It is to throw everyone off of what's really going on. What's really going on, in my opinion, is in Dulce, New Mexico. That's where they have the deep underground bases, also known as DUMBs, believe it or not, you know, deep underground military bases. And there's a lot of... Phil Schneider was part of the building of a lot of the deep underground military bases. And supposedly that's where he ran into some reptilians who shot at him. He's got missing fingers. He had a burn mark in his chest, this, that, and the other. And he was found a year later murdered with his own catheter, et cetera, et cetera. But, but he come forward to talk about, you know, he was a construction worker. He had security clearance levels. And his job was to build these things. And supposedly there's a trailway, you know, that runs people back and forth. And I'm rattling. But anyway, so yeah, their Dulce is supposedly where a lot of ET, alien, human agreements have been made. I'm being very careful here, to where we get technology
and they get
in trade for experiments on our species. Yes, sir.
Oh,
yes,
that is wild. That is very wild.
and
yeah.
she answered
I mean,
one
think about it. You know, when I was born in '68, okay, I had 3 channels on my TV, and I had to use rabbit ears. In 1983 or 4, we got the little slider box. Okay, and look what's happened since then. We've got the tiniest cell phones. I mean, the computer chips are this big.
Yeah.
I mean, within 20 years, our technology is poof.
Exactly.
Why all of a sudden?
I said the same thing.
Why all of a sudden?
Up with the computer chips, fiber optics, and all that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
don't create that.
Well, supposedly they found fiber optics in the ships in Roswell, and that's supposedly where they got that technology.
Right.
They reverse engineered it.
Yeah, yeah.
And Bob Lazar and all the stuff he talked about, I kind of believe he was telling the truth about a lot of that.
I agree. I agree.
Working on the ships and stuff, and back engineering and all that.
Oh yeah.
But aren't they?
Are you talking about
secrecy? They're sworn to secrecy.
Hey, Christine, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Aren't they like sworn to secrecy though, because of the public eye?
With their security clearances are sworn to secrecy, and they are basically threatened, from my understanding, that if they sing like a canary, that their family will disappear, they will disappear.
Yeah.
There is a rash of natural, esoteric healing doctors that are dying left and right now.
Wow.
They are literally falling off the map, and so yes, they are told that you have security clearance. You have security clearance for a reason. But here's what happens: a lot of people on their deathbed have nothing to lose, and that's when they make their deathbed confessions about the truth. And that, to me, is where you'll find the truth, in their deathbed confession.
There's cases in these underground facilities where groups are, how do I put this? You might have several groups in a facility, and none of them know what the other is doing because that's how secret everything is.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's how the military rolls. You may have infantry. I mean, you've got. I mean, just look at our basic military. The left doesn't know what the right's doing. Nobody's told where they are. They're not allowed to communicate with their family. They're not told where they're deployed. I don't know if either of you know who David Wilcock is. Do you know who David Wilcock is?
Not familiar with.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
not either.
he is the blonde-headed guy who has a lot to say on the show Ancient Aliens.
I
You
love
guys,
George.
Oh, okay. Now I know who you're talking
no,
about.
Yeah.
right? Okay. Well, it must be extraterrestrials. And then you've got the Oriental guy. Well, David Wilcock is the
What about
blonde-headed
the
guy.
dude with the
He
I
is right
love
now.
that guy. Love him.
the dude with the fro? I'm not saying his
That's
name.
Georgian. Isn't that his name? Georgian?
There's
And
different
implemented into what's called the secret space program. According to him, now, once again, this is conspiracy stuff, and it sounds way far out there, but he talks about teleportation. He talks about that we're already on Mars, terraforming the planet. He talks about several different moon bases. Go ahead.
I said, I've been saying that we've been on Mars.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, well, he validates that for you. You can even see. I'm a ham radio operator. Back in when the moon landing happened, you got to remember that the transmissions that come from the moon, from like Neil Armstrong, right, come down. They travel over the ocean. They go to NASA, and then NASA would transmit it to everybody watching the show. Okay. Well, there was 18 minutes of missing transmission. Okay, well, the ham operators heard that transmission because NASA was not able to delete it because it comes through our atmosphere, our wavelengths. So what the ham operators heard was, these things are huge. Yes, these are not ours. Yes, they're here. And there was 18 minutes of that. I thoroughly believe that the moon landing was real, and I believe that NASA sent our astronauts up there to see what was on the moon already. Not so much to go to the moon and be like, woo, we went there, let's beat Russia, but because they suspected that there were other life forms there already. And they got there, and yes, they found. And you can actually Google ham operator, moon landing, 1969, yada, 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 and you can hear the transmission for yourself because it was on the medical transmission.
They filmed a little bit that they showed to the public of them planting the flag and them bouncing around a little bit, and then after that, you don't see nothing.
Collecting rocks, yada, yada.
Yeah, you don't see nothing else.
And then you have 18 minutes of missing transmission that NASA said was, oops, no, The ham radio operators heard it.
Okay, Christina, you had gave me a question about where do they store the evidence. She just mentioned it a while ago. Hangar 1.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
And,
Hangar 1 is for MUFON. That is strictly a MUFON warehouse. Do I know where it is? Well, anybody but the inside people know where it is?
Does the military have access to it?
The military is military. Hangar 1 is civilian. So they would, yes, of course, with an executive order or whatever, they could access that information. But they will play. Can I cuss?
Well, the reason I asked is because MUFON basically was supposed to be formed to educate the average Joe about what's going on with the spacecraft and the aliens and all this stuff. At some point, the military decided, no, they don't need this information, and we're going to safeguard all this stuff.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't think MUFON was formed to educate anyone. I think MUFON was formed to answer questions. Because after Roswell, and there's a lot of stuff that leads to time travel, that we sent Roswell to ourselves, et cetera, et cetera. that's a whole nother topic. MUFON is basically to investigate these reports to help people who see these things or experience abductions, etc., or happenings, and help them. It has absolutely nothing to do with the government. The government really has no right to invade, and because it's a civilian program, I'm sorry?
I said they don't have a right, but that never stopped the government.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Oh, of course not. Of course not. Yes, it won't, because, I mean, the government, it's federal. Federal has control. I mean, I have a bachelor's degree in criminology and forensic science, by the way. So, yes, the government, the United States. However, they have to go through the states and get the state's approval, this, that, and the other. It's checks and balances. That's why it's in place. Because if the government could just do whatever they wanted, then the world would be a shitty place. So, no, they just can't. That's why the government said, hey, let's take in all these Syrian refugees. And the state stood up and said, no, we're not. And they were allowed to do that. So just because the federal government says you have to do something doesn't mean the states have to follow. There are checks and balances in place for that.
I read an interesting post on Facebook today about, and I want to say it was Carolina, but they were told basically, we're sending you 126 teenagers. And the guy said, no, we don't want them. The mayor, whoever, the governor, whatever. And they were told, well, basically, you're getting them. So they sent them to them.
Okay.
And the governor met them at the airport, fed them, put them on another plane, and sent them to Indonesia. You know, I mean,
do you know what state this was? What state was it? Do you know?
I was wanting to say it was Carolina, but, oh, good Lord. I think I shared that post. I could probably find it and send it to you later.
Okay. That's fine. I know, like, Kentucky denied. We denied. We took in all the Hurricane Katrina refugees, and we had nothing but horrific things happen. Okay. So when it came to Syrian refugees, Kentucky was like, oh, no, 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 no. We refused.
You help your own.
Michigan took in a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we actually
does anybody want a tarot reading? Because we're 8:50. Does anybody want a tarot card reading real quick?
Well, I mean, we're going to have to keep running unless Nicholas pops back because
okay.
I don't know if he's going to make it or not.
Well, maybe, yeah. All right, well, we can keep running. That's cool.
We do have a question in chat. They actually want to know if you could tell us the STAR team and its members and how they are chosen.
The what team and their members?
The STAR team.
The STAR team.
Yeah.
Are they talking like Pleiades, Arcturians, that type of STAR team? What STAR team are they referring to?
I will ask them.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to answer Mary Strickland's question I told you earlier, that'd be cool.
If I want to answer what?
Remember I told you Mary in the chat over there wanted you to do a reading for her about...
oh, yes. Refresh my memory of the question again.
I believe, without flipping over there, I believe it was about writing screenplays or books.
Writing, I'm sorry, honey. Let me put my earphone. Go ahead.
She's going to be successful about writing screenplays or books.
Oh, okay. All right. I will absolutely do that for her. All right. Her name is Mary, you say?
Mary Strickland, yes.
Okay, great. Let's see what we get here. All right. All right. Can she hear us, or do you need to type this, yeah. Roger?
No, she's watching. Yep, she's watching.
Okay, great. Hey, Mary. All right. Your first card is the Hierophant reversed. This card represents that you, my dear, are a very, very kind person. Actually, your kindness is usually overdone, probably to a point to where you get taken advantage of. You exercise your generosity repeatedly. From what I can see, just within a few seconds, you are a very, very kind person. The downside to this is that you repeat errors, which means that you will show kindness over and over and over, and unfortunately, sometimes you get taken advantage of, and that's very sad. So I hope that you listen to my words and you will maybe build your wall up just a little bit. I respect Buddhism and Taoism, so I do understand that it's always better to show kindness. But in your case, I would suggest maybe putting up just a teeny little wall to prevent these people from constantly maybe taking advantage of you, because you're a little bit susceptible, and people play on your guilt, and don't you have control. Don't allow that to happen, because you have a tendency to be vulnerable and maybe a tad bit gullible. No offense. Along with that is a little bit of frailty. You're probably an amazing woman. We'll see in the next two cards. So I would take this as maybe a renunciation of, you know what? I'm tired of being run over. I'm tired of people taking advantage of me, and I am going to put a stop to it. Okay, so we're going to roll with that real quick. Your next card is the Eight of Coins, right side up. This talks about an apprenticeship. It talks about craftsmanship, which probably is about you being a novelist, a book writer, etc. You have an ability to learn very quickly. You're also very candor. You thrive in candor. You have a frankness about you. Okay, and let me compare this to this other card. So you have candor and you have frankness. However, these people that use you, for lack of a better terminology, kind of just like poof, it rolls off their shoulders. So they don't take you serious. So maybe in your candor and frankness, you need to be a little bit more oomph. You need to give it some more oomph. You have a tendency to be very modest and humble. Your personal effort means the world to you. I think that's where your book writing comes in. You take pride in your work, obviously. You have a major commitment to any task that's at hand, and you do your very best. Let's go to the third card real quick. This is a Nine of Coins. Accomplishment, discretion, foresight, safety, material well-being, love of nature, sheltered environment, which tells me that you like to be alone. You like to be alone when you write. You like to use your muse, and you do your best work when you are not around other people. But you have a cautious type of exploration. All right, so in combination of these three cards, will your book be successful? Absolutely, if you don't let these people who are trying to tarnish your work get to you. Seclude yourself, do your writing in nature, in a sheltered environment, and I think it will be very successful. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And yeah, that's what the cards say.
Hey, Michelle.
So there's your answer. Yes, your book. Yes, yes, ma'am.
I am very interested in this. Could I have one myself?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, this is what I do. Let me shuffle again.
I love this stuff.
I do too. And I do have my pendulum out, so if you want a direct yes or no answer, I'm willing to do that as well. All right, hold on. Oh, this deck is so quick. Huh?
I have to give you a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm going to read for you first. I'm
Okay.
just letting anyone who's listening that if they have a question that they want to ask my spirit guides, that is a yes or no answer,
Oh, I got
that
you
I
for the
might be able to help them because I pulled out my pendulum. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Um, all right. So let me keep shuffling. Here. Let me break this deck apart. I'm gonna shuffle these two, and then I'm gonna ask you when to stop. So hold on just a second.
Okay.
All right. There it goes. Let me shuffle this one. All right. Okay. Let me break these apart, and you tell me when to stop. 1 second. All right. Tell me when to. Oh crap! Hold on. My hair got caught. Darn it.
That's okay.
That's the bad part about having long hair. Let me put this behind me. Oh. All right. 1 second. Crap. I'm sorry. I'm using naughty words tonight. All right. Here we go again. You tell me when to stop. 1 second. Oh gosh. My hands aren't big enough for this deck. This deck has like 250 cards in it. All right. Say when.
Stop.
Okay. Let's move those. Push those together. All right. Fingers in here. All right, my dear. Let's start. 2, 3. Alrighty. Oh, my dear, you got the Justice card. All right. This is reversed. This card signifies someone recently has treated you very unfair. I am getting that possibly in the past you've suffered from abuse. I'm not sure if it's mental or physical, but abuse is abuse. I mean, really, what's the difference? I've suffered from abuse, so I would have much rather maybe gone through the physical than the mental. The mental is long term.
Gotcha.
I think that people have things that you are not guilty of. Perhaps gossip. You have lost some good friends in the midst of this because they chose to believe the gossip instead of you, which shows that they were not true friends.
Exactly.
Shit, and you should not tolerate those people ever, ever, ever again. You've had a couple of untrue friends, and possibly, I don't know what kind of business you're in as far as career, but I'm feeling bad business partner. So maybe you made some deals in the past where you were going to create something, and the person totally let you down. All right, that's a justice card. So your justice will be knowing that you came out the better person, even though these people or person treated you extremely wrong.
No,
All
you're
right,
right. You're right.
let's go. Ten of Cups right side up. You love home. You love your abode. You are extremely happy at home. You would be the type of person who would just assume prop your feet up, grab a bucket of popcorn and watch a movie. You don't need to go out. You don't need to party. You find much joy and pleasure and peace and love and contentment at home in your place of Zen. Um, you do have a good family life. I'm not sure what that is. Nothing real clear is coming through, but I think what you have built now, minus this justice card, is somewhere where you have contentment.
Yes.
I feel like your honor and self-esteem has risen so much. Your self-virtue, your reputation has gone from down here to whoo. You have honestly earned it. You have earned it with every drop of blood, sweat, and tears. You have fought for your reputation, and you have a lot of support by the community.
Yes, you are
That's what that
absolutely
card
correct.
stands for.
Absolutely correct.
All
Thank you.
right.
Yep.
Let's go for your third card. You're very welcome. The Six of Wands reversed. All right. Let's look at this sort of like maybe some things that might come up, maybe some inner stuff. Um, you do have fears, you have apprehensions, and because of these other two cards, you have a fear of disloyalty. Maybe we could call it like slight jadedness or maybe slight PTSD
I
because
do
you don't like
understand.
superficial people. You're tired of superficial people. You're done with superficial people.
Okay,
And it takes a lot for you to trust these days. Hey, Nick.
Nicholas,
Hi.
and we're reverbing again.
I just muted him for a second.
I'm almost done.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh,
So fire.
I
You're on
think
the
that
mic.
according to what you've gone through in the past, you know, you've got a great family. You, my dear, are a joyous person. You are an amazing person. You have been treated hugely unfairly in the past, and none of this was your fault. What's going to make the difference in the future is the fact that you are a strong woman and that you are a fighter and you are doing everything in your power to reap the rewards of being a strong Wonder Woman, for lack of a better word. So, I don't know if you had a question. If you did, I could probably answer it in cards.
Well, first off, you are right
If
on
you
the money.
don't, then great. That was
Absolutely
well.
right on the money.
Thank
My
you for that.
question would
Thank you for
be
that.
if Haunted Salem would become
Baby.
successful.
Yeah. Mm, yeah. Pretty sad. But you are like a viper, girl. You got this. You got this so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're gonna be fine.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Christina Rock.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, Nicholas, sorry about that, but you're still reverbing.
I reduced the sound. Maybe I'm a little better now?
Okay, well, it doesn't do it when you talk, it does it when we talk.
Oh.
Well, we can see you at least.
I could, like, do sign language.
He's so silly.
But I don't know what it is about something that you have on. Is that is that's gotta be.
I didn't understand any of that, did you? Anybody else?
No.
Okay, because I'm reverb. Okay, hold on. Something that you are running is causing a reverb with everybody else when they talk. And I don't have a clue what that might be.
Well, maybe we can. I mean, I would be more than happy to be quiet from here on out, unless somebody in chat has a specific question for me. So I will tune out, and we'll see if that helps.
If I talk or if Christina talks, it's still going to do it.
Yeah, it'll still do
I
it.
saw that.
So, I mean,
Okay.
being quiet ain't going to help anything. It's whatever it is, it's something that he's got running over there, and I don't have a clue what it is.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'll say bye.
I'm sorry?
Should I log off then?
Well, as long as I can right now, it doesn't do anything. Well, it does too.
Well, you know, earlier I was doing that. I can hear myself in my Bluetooth, and I'm reverbing too. But I know to be quiet after I speak long enough to get a response. So try that, Nicholas.
Well, I wonder if he has the chat on.
No, that's Hey, Nicholas,
Yes?
try something for me. You got another device you can log into?
Um, not really.
I'm going to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. Um, if you have a smartphone, you can do it that way.
It's kind of dead.
Because something on that, what you're running is causing this.
Well, let me mute it, and I will mess around a little bit more.
All right, brother.
Well, actually, he just came through loud and clear.
Yeah, he does.
Did
It's when
everybody
we
else hear that? It didn't reverb that time.
Yeah, he comes out clear, but when we talk, it has a reverb.
Oh, okay.
I'll turn. Well, now I can't hear you. This is what I call aural flaring.
I don't know what kind of mic are you?
Actually, I hear Nicholas loud and clear. It's you two that are kind of getting the echo effect.
He comes in.
Hmm.
I don't know what it is. Something that he's running over there is called. Because if he logs out, everything goes back to.
Well, let me just do that, and I'll listen in and
Well,
try again.
I don't know what it. I mean, I don't even have a hand of what to tell you to look for. You know, I mean, if I was there myself, it'd be different. I know that if you have the chat room running at the same time as you're running this, it'll do that. But you're not even in the chat room. So it's not that. And whenever you talk, it sounds good. But when we talk, it doesn't.
Okay, well, this shouldn't be worked on right now with your live show, but I'll bow out.
If you have more than one set of speakers on it, that will do that sometimes too.
I don't.
I'm just trying to come up with ideas because I have a clue.
Hey, Nicholas, I'm really curious. Where are you? You look like you're in like a cathedral or something.
I know, it's beautiful, right?
Oh no, this is my library.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
That's amazing.
very nice.
Yeah, it is. That's cool.
Yeah, let me step outside for just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, when we get
Oh.
Oh, aren't you clever?
He is clever. Very clever.
when we get straightened out here, we have a lady that would like you to answer. Let me jump back over here and read it again real quick because my mind goes really fast.
Well, see, I just muted him, and I hear you normal now.
Mhm.
So it's definitely on his end.
I'm trying to find the question here. Where was that? Dang it.
Mary actually wanted, not Mary, Meg, excuse me.
Yeah, Meg, that's
Yeah,
one.
Meg wanted to have a reading. How do you pronounce her last name? Craiglow?
I think so.
Yeah, Meg Craiglow. She would like to know what her future holds.
Yeah, and that's the one I was trying to think of. And
I take it that's for me. Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Michelle?
yeah, she wants to know if you can tell her what her
Oh,
future.
yeah. Yeah, I'm here. So Megan would like to know what her future holds.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right.
Now you're not reverbing.
Because
not-
I muted Nicholas.
Oh.
I have him muted, so
Oh, I'm so sad about that because he has a lot of good stuff to say.
he
Um,
is an amazing person, very fascinating.
And we will have
yes,
to
he is.
figure out a way to do this.
Yeah, have him on again for the whole 2 hours and see how it goes.
Oh, absolutely. But in order to hear you and Meg's future, I had to mute him for a minute.
Okay, that's cool. I've got the cards drew. All right, for Meg, right now she is in a position of, this tells me that she has gone through something recently very traumatic that has forced her into a type of solitude or exile, for lack of a better word, maybe a retreat. This is temporary, possibly abandonment. I don't know if this is possibly from someone that she loved, maybe a family member passed away. So right now, this Megan person is in a place of convalescence, for lack of a better term. She's trying to escape um, from breaking down. All right, her on a proposal. There's no immediate solution to the present situation. Somebody needs to confess the truth to Miss Megan before she can forgive and move on. It has to be a declaration of the truth. And what I mean by declaration of the truth is this person needs to like literally get on their knees and like just bare their soul and beg her forgiveness. All right, as far as her future, between these other two cards along with this third card, Megan, you are a genius. You have so much growth ahead of you. You are a very hard worker. You enjoy progress. In your past, you have had a lot of success in dealings with your employment, etc. I wouldn't say that you're wealthy, but you're not poor. You're very much good with money. You know how to balance a checkbook. You know how to take care of yourself. I would say that your most treasured wealth is recognition for your integrity. Because what's coming across to me is that you value respect and integrity, and you work hard for those things, and you don't feel appreciated for them. Somebody in your past has taken advantage of that and has used you. And get on their knees and beg your forgiveness and kiss your toes, to be quite honest. However, results of efforts are nearly due. So, in combination with these three cards that I'm reading, for your future, I would say that the only way for you to let go of your pain, unfortunately, if you don't forgive yourself for tolerating this person in your life, then you will forever be miserable. You have to forgive yourself first. It would be nice for this person to apologize. Of course it would. We all want that. I mean, come on. I think that after some time, you will get over it, and it will haunt you for a little while, but you will get over it. And I think will reward you. So, let me see if I can put this in layman's terms. I believe that with a lot of hard work and a lot of possibly meditation and mental clarity, that the future is very, very bright for you, my dear. It's very, very bright. as long as you are willing to let go of these things that have happened in the very recent past. And that's what I have for you tonight, sweetie.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. This is what I do. I enjoy it so much.
I don't see any more
Okay.
right now. So
Okay, that's cool. We can talk about other things.
you can take a breather from that for a minute.
I'm
Um,
sorry. Allergies like crazy. Everything knows is so. But anyway. So what can we talk about now?
well,
Let's do it.
I'm interested to know how many MUFON cases you've actually worked. You know, and if there's any information, give us on.
I can talk about that. Yes, I can talk about that to a degree. I cannot, because of confidentiality reasons, I cannot disclose what the cases are or how they came about, but there's been several. We'll just put it that way. And I had to work my way up. When you are a newbie MUFON person, you get kind of like the, I don't know, kind of like a newbie ghost hunter, for lack of a better term. You take the little bitty cases, and then as you work your way up and you work them, then you get the more interesting cases. And so yeah, as I've gone through, the more interesting cases are coming through. Like I said, I cannot explicitly talk about the cases, but I can allude to things that are public that resemble the cases, if you get me. Wink, wink.
Basically,
I've had anywhere from flying crafts, from sundogs, from lizard men, from, I mean, it just depends on what area you want to go. I mean, do you want to talk about ancient civilizations, the Anunnaki?
well,
That?
I want to know, have you ever worked a case yet that's made your hair stand on end?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't say it was a case that I worked. I had a personal experience that made my hair stand up, and that's what initially got me into MUFON. So, as far as I'm concerned, that case was probably the most intriguing, of course, because it was personal. I mean, you know.
Okay.
Well,
I think I touched on it earlier, how I had some missing time, you know.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Go ahead, Christine, please.
well, yeah. Chat wants to still know about the star teams. So I guess it's the Muffin Star, the star teams, the MUFON.
The star team.
Yeah.
Okay. The star team, he needs to be a little bit more specific.
Okay.
I know about star beings, indigo children, stuff like that. I'm familiar with, the Pleiades, the Arcturians, the Hathors, I could go on and on about those. Hitler was in touch with the Aryans, which supposedly was an alien race. There are at least 13 recognized MUFON races. At least 13.
I think she's.
I feel that there's more.
I think she's saying that MUFON has what they call a star team.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, you two overlapped. What?
I said, I think what she's saying basically is that MUFON has a star team, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, of course they do. Do I have any contact with them? No, I haven't made it to that level yet. I'm still just a basic investigator.
You'll get there.
I know, right? I'm stomping my foot. Because I've only been, involved in this for just a couple of years. So yeah. But let me go in. I joined MUFON because of some of my paranormal ghost experiences convinced me that I was not dealing with dead people, that I was not dealing with souls of passed on loved ones, etc., etc. The things that I have caught for evidence, definitely, and just, okay, here's my disclaimer. From what I'm about to say is strictly my opinion only. Okay, there's my disclaimer. These things are not human. They're not. And so I had to look outside the box. This place that I was talking about that I ran out, I did a lot of research, and I have come to the conclusion that this location is something called a Lesser Key of Solomon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but King Solomon was noted for being the crazy king in the Bible. He worked time magic. We're talking Cabal, Illuminati magic, not. And he was King Solomon, the king of the Israelites, et cetera, et cetera. He's in the Bible. But he was also known for he was called Mad King Solomon. Well, he was kind of like the modern day Aleister Crowley, or Crowley, however you want to put it, tomato.
Crowley.
Yeah. So there is the Key of Solomon, which is positive, and then there is something called the Lesser Key of Solomon, which is negative. And this location that I spent a lot of time in, 5 times in 1 year, it took me 3.5 hours to get there one way. And I had to go back. And the evidence I gathered out of that place convinces me, along with the way the house is shaped, what it's on, as far as the granite water, the railroad tracks are right next door. The way the house is shaped, if you look at it from a helicopter view, it looks like a Celtic cross. The things that they have found on the land were animal and human bones. So there was obviously sacrifice that happened on the property. And I was still a practicing druid at the time. So I was working circle magic and opening portals, because I thought I could control it. Duh, right? And some things that came through were very horrendous. That's the place I saw my first creeper. Do you know what a creeper is, Roger?
Well, that depends on how you want to look at it, because my term of creeper and yours may not be the same.
I mean by human.
Yeah, my term of creeper is the ones that creep on women and stuff and act like real crap heads.
Yeah, no, this thing was, and I've got it on videotape. One day soon, next time, maybe in a couple months, I will upload my evidence and I will show you guys. Awesome. This thing was huddled. It was huddled in the corner of this location, and it was a black shadow mass that looked kind of like a glob. And we were filming it because me and my partners all saw it. We were like, oh, what is that? Because we could see it and it was changing shape. Well, all of a sudden, this arm drooped down, and it had claws, and then it pulled back up. That is the first time in 25 years I'd ever seen anything like that.
Wow.
And then it did it again on the other side, like maybe a half hour later. And then it scuttled and disappeared. Ugh. It still creeps me out to this day, and I think I'm pretty badass with controlling my fear and that. So that was my first experience with a true creeper or something. I don't know. And that also led to me, going into the interdimensional things, which also led me to no longer. Paganism to me is low-level magic. You go into the Crowley and the Solomon keys and this, that, and the other, and you get into high-level magic, which works with sacred geometry and stuff like that. So I've given all that up. Now I am a practicing Buddhist. I am interested I've got a metaphysical degree, and I'm into Taoism. And by far, this has been the most soul satisfying, I guess, for lack of a better term, religion that I've ever done them all. Catholic, everything. This one is right. The whole reincarnation thing, yeah.
I want to get Nicholas in here and
yeah, please.
talk about the Anunnaki and all that stuff, but I don't know if he's going to be able to come in here and it not wreak havoc, you know?
Yeah. What would you like to talk about? Try to get him in if you can. Then I've done major research on the Anunnaki.
Yeah, see, okay.
I'm sorry. There he is.
If
Hi.
then I can't, everybody's reverbing on each other.
Would you like me to bounce out for a little bit?
Well, I mean, it won't matter because if I talk or Christina talks, it'll still do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be quiet and you all see what you can do.
So it's something on his end that's causing this. And
Well,
I
hey,
have,
Nick, try talking, see what happens.
well, I've got to mute. Okay, if I unmute this, let me see. I don't know if I did or not.
I'm unmuted right now.
Yeah. Okay, and I can hear myself in the background. Christina, talk for me.
Yeah, it definitely has an echo. Well, I don't hear it now.
Well, I do.
I hear it on you.
It's on you too.
Ah, okay. I don't hear it on myself.
I have no clue, brother, but
well, I was hearing that echo too, but and I'm still hearing it. So when I speak, I just speak and then let the echo go, and then I wait for a response.
Well, they have an idea in chat, and that is to mute when we want to answer his question. Have him answer. I mean, have him ask. You know, and then when he talks, we can't hear it, and then when we talk, mute him. I mean, that's right. A loop.
Well, okay. How about we try this? I'll mute myself whenever I'm not speaking.
Okay. Seems to work.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Hey, are we working now? Nope, I heard myself. Okay. Now I just heard him talking and I didn't hear.
Because he's muting himself when he's not talking. So when he talks, he's going to unmute, hear him clearly, and then when he doesn't talk, he's going to mute himself so we don't have the reverb.
Oh, okay. Awesome. That'll work.
So why don't we have, Nicholas, why don't we have you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm fascinated with everything. My real business is making psychic appliances of quite an unusual nature. I don't make your typical Ouija boards. I make, hold on a second, I'll grab something to show you. It'll just take a second.
Okay.
Trying to get my pages from flopping off here.
Murphy's Law, Roger.
Well, I don't know about everybody else, but I've been having an awesome time. Michelle's really interesting.
Yeah, she is, and she's definitely right on the money when it comes to her readings, so she's amazing. Okay, he's back.
Okay.
Okay, this is the very first thing I ever made. It is about 15 years old, but get a good shot there. See the casters?
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, this is the father of the Ouija board. It came out about 1850. They haven't really made them since 1880, and they are quite amazing. They do something similar to what Ouija boards do, but they're capable of photographs. I mean, drawings, maps. It's similar to dowsing rods, which I also make. I wasn't really ready to talk about that. I was thinking about the 13 types of aliens that you had just mentioned.
Sure,
But anyway,
sure.
I am the only guy in the world doing this who does it seriously. And I wish I had more to show you. I could show you a prototype of a board that's,
Very nice.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's quite thick. Well, it is a prototype because the other side is a different board. But I make products far, 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 far better quality. This stuff's really old, by the way. Like I said, that planchette's 15 years old. In about a week, though, by the 25th, I think I will have a lot of new surprises to show you all. And, check my website out then, Paranormal Products. I see an amazing power in these, and I don't think it's the portals that you may consider. I think it's actually the subconscious and a way to directly plug in and do things that you never would have thought were possible. I see it as a self-actualization tool. If you want to talk to ghosts, we could debate what ghosts even are.
Okay. I wanted to talk to you. You and I talked for a while the other night, and a lot of interesting things. And I think one of the main things that I really like is when you get into the ancient cultures, and you can go all the way back to the Anunnaki and the Sumerians. They were, in my opinion, like the first actual civilization, and they did have a form of writing, I do believe, also, and it's really interesting. And of course, I've read different stuff about the Anunnaki and how they were, and they were like separated, by two of the upper class, I guess, that fought amongst each other over human beings.
Right.
What is your opinion on that? I can't remember the names right now. If I didn't want to, they'd pop right in my head.
Well, first and foremost, I think I agree with what Carlos Castaneda said. Castaneda. He said reality is a direct reflection of what one perceives it to be. I know that devices have existed, but when you really get down to it, I find a lot of it to be folklore. The oldest that I've really found proof of was in the Ming Dynasty. That's hardly 1,500 years ago, and they weren't printing Ouija boards. They were writing in incense ashes two ways. It began with them moving a plate of ashes over a rigid pointer. Eventually, they evolved into moving the pointer. People who talk about Pythagoras making a board 2,500 years ago, I could trace that back to 1860, where an author known for writing stuff that might not be true wrote about it. And this is how, legends form. Here, I'll give you a great example. And nothing for or against them, but there's a man named Darren Evans who's about to come out with a book on Zozo. Have you heard of Zozo?
No.
I have.
What is Zozo to you?
He is a so-called demon who comes through on Ouija boards only, and is very malevolent. I have personally never run into him. I personally do not believe he exists. A lot of people do, so no offense to anybody listening, because a lot of people believe that this entity does exist. I personally do not, because I don't believe in the traditional demon.
I don't either.
Sorry about that. I want to give a shout out to Ken Ballows, 104 Rock, Virginia, is listening in to us tonight. Thanks a lot, buddy. We appreciate it. Also,
Shout out.
a plug out to JB Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, New York. Cindy John Pierre is the owner and operator, and she's listening in tonight. And, of course, Mary, Meg, and all the rest. We got a bunch of people over there just tearing the chat room up. I wish I could stay over there more. But
oh, my God. Anyway, I love it. Thank you so much, you guys.
A lot of people listening, and Michelle, you're awesome. And Nick
thank you.
Very intelligent person. We talked for a while the other night. And, we talked about everything, but we may have talked about the kitchen sink. I don't remember, but we talked about everything else.
Well, Roger, I know where his reverb's coming from.
I'm sorry.
From where?
Sorry.
I know where his reverb's coming from.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
He's listening to us. So when he unmutes, also it's like an echo because he's listening to us and then muting. So he has something, he's listening to us, and that's where it's coming from.
Well, and that's when you have the chat room open and you don't pause it. But he's not in the chat room, so I don't...
It's got to be something he's listening to that's causing it.
Have you got the player open over there in the other page?
I do have a web window open with it.
You gotta pause it.
Okay, pause that.
You gotta pause the live feed.
Pause the player in the other window. That's what's giving you the feedback right there.
That is what's giving them the feedback.
Yeah, everything's clear now. Yeah, it sounds crystal clear to me right now.
Yeah, he just dropped out of the call.
Yeah. I didn't mean for him to close it. I meant for him to pause it. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm selfish like that. Yeah.
Hey, that's live radio, you know, you got technical difficulties. I know I've had many on my radio shows.
Oh, thank you. Does anybody else want one before I put my tarot cards up?
Well, I'm out of chat right now, so I'm not sure. Roger, you want to go check chat?
Yeah, let me jump over there and see if anybody's... Anybody over here in the chat room want a reading? Uh, Michelle's fixing to put the 10 cards away if nobody else wants to read him. So,
See, there he is. There's no reverb, right?
yep, there is one.
Shucks. We'll have to work on we'll get you
I don't know.
Karen,
I'd love to come back and do another show sometime, and I'll be a lot more prepared. We'll work out whatever bugs there are. I regret that this has happened, but
stuff happens, man. But I'll be glad to have you back on again, and we will continue this conversation.
Oh, absolutely. You're a very fascinating person, and we must have you on, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about.
well, thanks so much. I'll keep watching and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you, and I'll get in touch with you. We'll set something up.
Okay, take care.
Anything at you, butthead. Ah, he left.
I can't
Darn it.
keep my paper from blowing away.
I know. He's super cool. He's super cool.
Oh, Nicholas is awesome. We spent a couple hours talking ourselves, and he just blew me away.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's so intelligent. All right, we've got, about 12 minutes left?
We've got as much time as we need.
Yeah, we can take as much time as we need. We don't have to do
Yeah, we can.
Very cool.
We can take this on for a while if we want to.
Wow. This is actually, I used to have, I was a radio host myself for Timeless Dimensions Radio, and I was fortunate to team up with a man named Jim Heater, and we got to interview some very interesting characters. But this is the first time I've ever been able to do video. Oh, I'm so hooked now. I'm totally digging it.
Well,
So, yeah.
it was a lot
Thank you
of
for
fun, and
It
I'm
is.
trying to see if anybody over here. Mary Strickland would love to hear more from Nicholas, but Nicholas is gone. I'm sorry, you guys. He couldn't get his problem fixed.
He'll be back.
But
Yeah.
we're gonna have him come back on at a later date, and we'll get. I love Jim Heater.
Oh, I love Jim Heater too. Mwah, 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 whoever said that.
Okay.
Yeah, he and I are dear, dear friends.
Christina, if you want to go ahead and talk for a minute, I'm trying to get a link set up here.
Sure. Go back to the UFO stuff, since we have time.
Sure. Yeah.
What do you believe the extraterrestrials, what do you believe they want? And
Well, that's an interesting question. A lot of people ask me all the time, and actually Nicholas was one of these people. He's like, seriously, why are they here? Why are they watching us? What people believe that we are basically an anthill. Kind of like how we look at an anthill. A lot of people believe that that's how these advanced creatures look at us. Like, what do we have to offer? Well, that is up for debate. And we need to, I would suggest you guys have, this roundtable thing where you bring in a couple ufologists who have different ideas. That way we can all kind of, bounce off each other in debate. Because I have what I believe in and what I've researched as to the answer to that question, and I will go ahead with that. But I think it would be fascinating for you guys to have a group of ufologists on at the same time and just let us ping each other.
Okay.
What I do believe in the Anunnaki. I do believe that is the oldest civilization that has recorded data. That we are aware, and I say that very, what's the word, this reality. Okay, so if you look at the Anunnaki, if you subscribe to the ancient alien theory, the Anunnaki came here to mine for gold. The reason they needed gold was because on their planet, which is happening to our planet with the global warming and all of these so-called things that are happening, the only thing that reflects the sun's radiation is gold. If you look at the astronauts, what do they wear on their faceplates? Gold. Solid gold. When they put their shields down, that reflects the sun's radiation. So the theory is that the Anunnaki came to us of gold. Now, a lot of people think that they were lazy and that, they were mining for gold, this, that, and the other, and they decided, hey, this is kind of hard work. Let's take the indigenous species from this planet and enhance them and let them mine for the gold, which, therefore, with the ancient alien theory comes the missing link between Homo sapien, not Homo sapien, I'm sorry, Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon. There's something missing there. We only are 3 chromosomes shy, or actually the 8th chromosome shy. Everything else matches. So the theory is that we were engineered by the Anunnaki in order to be a slave race, to mine gold for them. So why would they have an interest in us? My opinion is, strictly my opinion, is we are their creation. That we are the missing link. Exactly. We are all aliens.
I've been saying this for years.
Mm-hmm. That is truly my opinion. We are not the indigenous species on this planet. The chimpanzee, the primates are, which leads us into the Bigfoot theory. Okay. I personally believe that Sasquatch would be what we would have evolved into if we had been left alone. However, there are a lot of ufologists who believe that Sasquatch is a scout for ET, because whenever you see a Sasquatch, you see a UFO in the same area within 24 hours. There's a UFO report in the same hour. Yes, ma'am.
That's very interesting.
You can do your research on it. So a lot of people believe that Sasquatch is a scout, kind of like a military scout.
I like that.
Every time I try to get a word in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, it seemed like I would pause and wait for somebody to finish, and then when I would start, somebody else started. But I
had a lot to say right there, so yeah.
In our DNA, human DNA,
yes.
There is a bit of code in there that does not belong to humans.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about that. They call it junk DNA. I personally believe that it has not been activated yet. I think that it's being activated as we speak. This is the Great Awakening that everybody keeps talking about.
We have a link in our DNA that does not fit human or pansy or any of that stuff. So
well, guess what? It does fit. I know what it fits.
Well, you do, and I do, but for those out there listening, I think everybody has a...
That's probably too much for them to handle, yeah.
Whatever in their DNA structure. Because that's where we came from.
Uh-huh.
That's my opinion. And
well, let me ask you this. Roger. Do you think the dinosaurs truly died off? With this meteor?
Because of a meteor? Don't know about all that. Because the meteor hit like in a certain part, supposedly, according to the scientists, right? On one side of the planet.
Sure.
Dinosaurs all over. Okay? So...
But it created an atmosphere interference that supposedly basically drowned the oxygen off of the planet. Say like a volcano erupted and ash spread all over the world. It was kind of like a nuclear bomb was set off.
I don't agree.
So, right.
I think that...
So,
I think that
Go
what
ahead.
basically killed them off was the food chain
Why?
because, um, and that could have a little to do with the meteor crash. You know, if it started killing off the vegetation, and therefore the leaf eaters would start to die off. But once the meat eaters finished up the dead leaf eaters, there's nothing left for them to eat but each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
I personally do not think that the so-called meteor killed off all of the
no, I don't.
dinosaur species. And I know this is very controversial, and I know that a lot of people may go when I say this, but I believe that the true evolution of this world, if the dinosaurs, this is all theory. Now let's define theory. Theory is an explanation based on some fact, but no facts that are verifiable. But enough of evidence that there is a theory. Okay? Does that make sense? Did that make sense in that? So a theory is valuable. It is valuable, but you cannot exactly prove a theory. That's why it's called a theory instead of fact. There are a lot of people out there that believe that the dinosaurs, the natural evolution of the dinosaurs that did not die off during this meteor, quote, meteor, whatever, would have evolved into the reptilian race.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. But then again, like you said, that's a theory, and theories have to have a lot of
It
science
is a theory, yeah.
to prove. So,
well, there is that. I've had some cases that have talked about lizard men. There are also a lot of other cases out there that talk about lizard men. I mean, the Nephilim. Let's talk about the Nephilim. The Nephilim are basically a theory, but they are also in the Book of Enoch, which is a biblical book that was left out of the Bible, that was left out of the King James Version for a specific reason because, well, I could get into my own opinion, but I'm not going to go there. However, the Book of Enoch was left out. They talk a lot about the Nephilim. The Nephilim are the giants, the angels that came down and mated with the daughters of man.
Yeah.
Okay? That is why our own Catholic nuns cover their hair, and that is why the Muslims and the extreme Islamics cover their hair and their faces. And that is strictly religious because they don't want to tempt the angels. That's where all that comes from. So, is there something to that, or isn't there?
That's very
deep. However, if you look in Peru, you look in the United States, they are finding these skulls, these gigantic skulls. Even in a lot of the museums, we have these skulls that have elongated. They're elongated skulls, and they are relating them to the Nephilim giants. I don't know.
I got a couple.
It's all, there's so much we just don't know, and it's just like boom, 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 bang your head against the wall because none of us know the answers, and I think that's what drives us crazy is none of us know the answers, and so we have these radio shows. We throw out ideas, we throw out theories, and we discuss these theories, and we're all searching for the truth, right?
Okay.
Well, I do remember one of the questions in chat that we never got to ask, and that is, if these aliens are so advanced, why do they need to experiment on us?
Well, okay. I have a couple different answers for that. Roger, you go first.
My opinion is if they're needing a place to spread out. Okay, maybe their planet's becoming overpopulated like we are. They would.
But they're advanced.
They would.
They don't need to overpopulate. They can
they would want to experiment and create hybrids to blend in, basically to get rid of all of the quote-unquote normal human beings, until they have enough
Well,
to...
we're talking about aliens. We're talking about aliens. We're not talking about us. Correct, Christine? Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking if the aliens, if they're so advanced, you know what I mean, why would they need to experiment on us?
Exactly. Okay.
Hold on, you guys.
Well,
You guys go ahead. I'll be with you.
okay. Let me step in real quick. They created us. So let's say, okay, let's put this into perspective. We put monkeys in cages. We put rats in cages. We put viruses in them, and then we try to cure them. Okay.
I'm good.
We see. Oh, I hear Nicholas.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, that should bring you right in.
It's okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue. So why do we experiment on rats and monkeys? I mean, what purpose does that serve except to accelerate our own race? And alien species experiment on us because they are us and we are them, in my opinion. So yes, in order to accelerate their race, they need to experiment on us, just like we do rats and monkeys. And that is being as blunt as I can get.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. If you look at the universal law, there is a universal law of bipedal. A lot of there is a mantis race. There are a couple different races that don't. Well, even them fit the criteria. But as far as there are certain things that seem to be prominent, and that is bipedal, upright, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a brain, sometimes nostrils, sometimes a mouth, even though a race that is way far advanced than us wouldn't necessarily need to eat like us. I do believe that advanced races do not need sex organs because everybody's incubated in a clone. There's no need for sexual relations, but there is a universal, what appears to be, let me correct myself, what appears to be a universal frame, and that seems to be bipedal, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 ears, 2 eyes. It is in an insectoid shape or a great alien shape with a great big head, 4 feet tall. Yep. There are also well-known 2 feet tall gray aliens. And some of them are, just because you see a gray, there are several different types of grays.
That's what I was going to ask you, how many.
And you got to remember, yeah. Aware of, there are 13 races that I would be willing to bet exist. Let me see if I can name them all. We've got the Pleiades, we've got the Hathors, we've got the Arcturians, we've got the Nordics. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of gray aliens, most of which are scientists. However, the 3-foot gray are the ones who conduct the experiments on humans that a lot of us believe that are working with our U.S. government. And not the White House. We're talking shadow government. So we're at 9 now. There is also the reptilians. That's 10. There is another reptilian race that is benevolent. They are called the Draco. Well, wait a minute. There's the reptilian, the Draco. So I'm at 10. There is there's like an Ewok group, but I can't think of their name. But there is 11 different alien races that have been identified.
All right. Are any of them hostile? Oh, we just lost her. Oh. Let's hopefully we can get her back. I'm sure she'll be right back, but that's very interesting, the fact that she knows all the names. Let's see. Oh, here she comes. There you are.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
that's
got cut
okay.
off.
That's okay.
So go ahead.
I was curious if any of those, these types, all these different types of aliens, if any of them were hostile.
Yeah, the reptilians, the Dracos. There are 4 different grays, and 2 of those are hostile that perform experiments. The Nordics are, and the Aryans, that's another one. The Aryans are supposedly who Hitler collaborated in making the Die Glocke, which was the electric magnetic field time machine he was working on, and that's why he went into the whole genocide of the Jews and the non-blonde, which were Nordics and Aryans. So, yeah, I mean, this goes way back.
Is it safe to say that the hostile ones are the ones that abduct us?
Yeah, that's tricky. The hostile ones, okay, there are hostile ones that abduct us and never bring us back, and then there are hostile ones that abduct us, take what they need, and then bring us back.
Oh wow, that's
Travis Walton is a good scenario of that. The Travis Walton case.
Yeah.
Where he was abducted, yeah. Actually, have you seen The Fourth Sign?
I've seen the what?
It's called The Fourth Kind with Mila Jovovich.
I absolutely love that movie, and I've seen it over and over and over again. And
isn't that creepy? Yes, that is creepy.
Footage.
Yeah, supposedly. So, I mean, use that as a reference point, okay? Supposedly that was the Anunnaki coming through, and it's floating, and she's like, rah, 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 and she's speaking this language, and the Anunnaki language was being translated, and it was like, I am your God. She's like, no, give me my kid, bring me back my baby. No, she's ours, blah, blah, blah. Yep. So that right there, I mean, not that I'm saying that movie was based on true facts or whether it was not. Like she said, it is up to us to determine what we believe. But I found it very interesting that they pulled the Anunnaki into it, especially with the owls. I have done a lot of cases, both personal and MUFON, that have had a lot of barn owls.
Yeah, what's up with the owls?
A lot of barn owls.
Is that how they say
I think that if a extraterrestrial was going to present itself to you, it would present itself as something that would make you feel calm. It's not going to come at you like, like spin its head around and puke green pea soup. It's going to present itself to you as something very calm that you would be interested in. So yeah, an owl, why not? Especially in Alaska.
Okay.
Now, I don't know. That's what happened in Alaska. I've also heard stories of being presented with family members, that they will manifest what one of their family members look like. So this is why I trust the apparitions that look like family members anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a tough call, man. It's a tough call to know what is really spiritual, what is ET, and I'm to the point right now that I'm kind of, I still have to do. All I have is my opinion right now, and that's my disclaimer. So. But I think that the world is waking up. I think the world is tired of being lied to, and this does have to do with the cabal and the Illuminati, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think. So, are you familiar with WaveX?
No.
Okay. Okay. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. It can't see me, but anyway. So we have our solar system, right? And you have the sun in the center, and you have the planets that circulate, right? Around and around and around. Well, our Milky Way does not stay stationary. Now, this runs into the Mayan theory, so bear with me. So the whole time we're circulating around our sun, we're rotating around our sun. Well, guess what? Our galaxy is moving as well. It throughout the universe. You feeling me? I wish I could see myself. Hold on, so I could. Oh, there I am.
Yep.
Oh, I'm
No,
here.
that's not me. There I am.
Hi, Roger. You're back.
Oh, darn it. Anyway. Well, anyway. So, the Mayans predicted in 2012 that we would enter something called the Dark Rift. Now, the Mayans were very much in touch with ET. They had the blood sacrifices. I personally believe, now I'm going way out on a limb with what I believe, and some people may think I'm cray-cray. I don't know, but I've done a lot of research. I've done years of research, and if people would do the research that I've done, they would probably be right where I am. I believe that the Mayans did their blood sacrifice for the reptilians, because if you look at their statues, if you look at their headdresses, they were all snakes. You can even go back to the Egyptians.
Absolutely.
At the top of their headdresses were like cobras.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thoroughly believe that these so-called reptilians definitely exist, but I think that they are a natural evolution of the dinosaurs, for lack of a better word. And I know how that sounds. If somebody were to be telling me this like 6 years ago, I would be like, whoa, this girl's nuts. But, I've spent a lot of time researching this. But anyway.
All right, well, I have another question, actually.
So, anyway. Yes, please.
And that would be, let's go with the other aspect here. What is your take on crop circles and cattle mutilation?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Cattle mutilations. And of, oh, gosh. I am so tired. Hoofon. Not Hoofon. Houghton. Yeah. I believe she's onto something. Now, if anybody has researched the most recent crop circles, we sent out a digital, this goes back to Carl Sagan. We sent out a slide that had encoded in Morse code, actually, where we were from, how our species is built, our human race is built in a stick figure, and then underneath that it had our solar system, and then underneath that it had some more information. Well, there was a crop circle recently, like about 3 or 4 years ago, that came back identical to that was sent out through one of our satellites, and it landed in the field, and it had the Morse code. It had their solar system. It also had their DNA. We sent out DNA as well. They had their DNA code, which was a little bit different from ours. It also had a stick figure that was much smaller than ours, and it also had their solar system. I personally believe that was a crop circle. That was definitely somebody came here. Now, okay, here's where I differ from a lot of people. Intelligent beings fly here on a metal craft, like Star Trek, okay?
You're awesome.
And come down onto our crops and okay, let's go out here and mow this stuff down. This is where the interdimensional aspect of my beliefs comes in. Okay, the pyramids, for instance. I believe that the pyramids are refueling stations for ET. I believe that the ley lines, Sedona, Stonehenge, there are several areas upon this planet that I believe, personally me, are refueling stations
That's
for these interdimensional beings.
the pyramids and stuff were built on ley lines.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you line them all up, they're in a perfect straight line.
And usually where they built these things is where the ley lines cross, because
Yes,
there's more power
absolutely.
in those spots.
Yes, because there is power in the ley lines. That is
Well, there's more power
where the electromagnetic is stronger
than there is, in just the ley line itself.
Yes.
Just about everyone, if you research it, just about every one of their cities, temples, and all this stuff was built on where ley lines cross.
Yep. And what's even funnier is if you go to like Google Earth and you really take come up about a couple thousand feet and look at Washington D.C. and you tell me what the streets form. They form a pentagram.
Doesn't that have to do with the Knights of Templar?
Yep. The Templar stumbled upon they found them in the dirt. Hold on, give me a second. The Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, and they found out that Jesus was not. Okay, once again, let me disclaimer. This is strictly my opinion. I am not dissing, strictly what research has taught me alone. Okay, so there's my disclaimer. In my opinion, after several years of research, the Knights Templar, the reason they were slaughtered on what is now the evil Friday the 13th is because they found out that Jesus did not die on the cross. When they gave him the sponge, they gave him some sort of medicinal herb that would simulate death, sort of like the Haitians do when they create their zombies. It slows the heart rate, and it kind of more or less puts them to sleep. So they put him in his tomb. 3 days later, he woke up, and he left, and it was like, oh, he rose from the dead. I personally don't believe that. I believe that he went on, and he married, and that he had children. The Da Vinci Code, the movie, for instance. Let's just use that, Leonardo da Vinci, et cetera, et cetera. So, where the ley lines are concerned, and Jesus and all that, absolutely. There is definitely sacred geometry and I love quantum physics. I love quantum physics. It holds the key to everything. But everything, if you look at it in layman's terms and you take a ruler and you draw, everything lines up. Even if you were to take the world and open it up and make it flat, all these famous landmarks are in a straight line. How the hell could they do that? With no technology, supposedly 2,400 years ago. Really?
On different sides of the planet, even. If you took a line and went across from one on one side of the planet to one on the other, they would be in a line.
Yep.
You have a question?
They would be in line. Please.
Okay. Bear with me just one more second here.
Okay.
Mary was wanting to know what your opinion is on the crystal skulls.
Oh, on the crystal skulls?
Yeah.
Was that it, the crystal skulls? Okay. The crystal skulls, I believe, were planted on purpose throughout the world. I believe one of two things. I'm not sure which one yet. I believe that on discovery of the crystal skulls, all of them, there will either be a cataclysm or it will open up a portal to where we will be contact. It will be first contact, technically. Well, I think we've already had first contact, but it will be a universal contact. So yeah, we're still looking for, I think, 2 of them. I think we found.
We lost your live feed.
I'm sorry, one more time.
We've lost your picture there. You're just showing up as the little blue guy again.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to fix that. Hold on. Because I did my hair and everything tonight, darn it. Okay, here we go. All right, can you see me now? Oh, there I am. Well, nope.
Oh,
Darn it.
you are.
Bummer.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm getting a phone call from a guy who, no, reject, go away. Wow.
Okay, Karen wants to
we go.
know
Oh,
how
okay.
does that
So
apply to
the
us in the here
skulls
and
were
now?
buried throughout the world, right? Correct? You know, all over. Peru, in the Mayan territory, North America, South America, Asia, you know, and there are so many. And I think that, oh, I totally believe that they are a database. Like the, oh, what's her name? The person that found the, her and her father found the crystal skull in the Mayan temple.
I know who you're talking
Oh,
about.
what is her name?
I know who you're talking about. I can't
I'm
think of
drawing a
it.
blank. But anyway, um, supposedly they took it to several psychics, and the psychics put their hands on the crystal skull, and they got like zapped, for lack of a better word. And they run it under X-ray, and they run it under CT scan,
Yeah,
and it's almost like a computer, um, a
like a hard drive.
trove of information. So if we were to get all of them together, it's either going to destroy the planet or it's going to save the planet. That's my opinion. That's all I have with that.
You have another question over
Are you
here.
there?
Mary asked,
Oh, I can't hear you.
you don't hear me?
Damn it. Somebody called me and I'm mad. Hold on. Me. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Karen was wanting to know, the information is fascinating, but how does it apply to us in the
I
here and
can't
now?
hear you. I can't hear you.
You don't hear me?
Shoot.
Well, I don't know why you don't hear me.
We hear you.
Oh.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yep.
Okay, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Karen was wanting to know, she said that was fascinating, but she wants to know how it affects us in the here and now. And I assume that she was talking about
The crystal.
In the here and now with the crystal skull?
yeah.
That's really tough, and I'm sorry. I honestly don't know. I think the truth will come out when we find them all. I think that that's going to cause like some sort of electromagnetic connection within sacred geometry that is going to open up a portal and maybe connect us to another realm. And until we find them all, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be very cool, actually. Well, it may be and it may be not.
That would be very cool.
Makes us
I'm ready to move on, personally. I am so ready to move on. Like I said, I'm really into Buddhism and reincarnation, and I think I've got another couple years that I've got to come back because I've made some mistakes in this lifetime. You know, but I'm so ready for the truth. I am so over this government cover-up shit. I am so over all these lies, and oh my gosh.
You disappeared again.
No, I know.
Um,
Hold on.
This person
There
keeps
you are.
trying to, can you hear me?
yeah. There's
Oh my
a story
gosh.
of crystal skulls being like
Can you hear me now?
by some alien race, and
Can you
that
hear me?
when they get them all back together, they're
Hold
gonna invade us and all this kind of stuff.
Can
And
you hear me now?
yeah, I hear you.
Roger, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you're not hearing me.
Hey,
Hello?
Roger, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
Keeps calling me and it's interrupting the call, and I'm going to block him as soon as we hang up because this is bull.
Excuse me. Anyway, you probably didn't hear what I just said, but
No, I didn't. Go ahead. I can hear you now.
you've heard the stories, right? About there's supposed to be like 13 skulls, I think.
Yes,
And
13. Mm-hmm.
they were divided up by this alien race because they were
Yes.
use them to conquer, you know.
Yes.
And if they get them all back together, they're gonna do their invasion thing or whatever. I really don't know what to think about all that, you know.
I don't either.
You know,
And we're never going to know until they find them. It's either going to be one of two. It's either going to be the okay, this civilization is ready for us, or it's either going to be a lot of people believe that it's going to present a force field around the Earth to protect us from an invasion. I don't know. There's so many theories out there, and nobody knows what the truth is. I mean, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I do, because I don't.
well, and then of course you've got the real deal, and you've got the imitations that people are trying to pass off as the real deal.
I got a great question.
The real deal, yeah. So,
You just said
yes, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Alien invasion. How come that has not happened yet?
Yeah.
I'm curious to why it's been around millions and millions of years, but we haven't seen this invasion.
Well, okay. I've got a couple different answers for that. I think we've already been invaded.
Really?
I think we have been invaded for maybe about, personally, 6,000 years. I think we were invaded upon the introduction of the Anunnaki. Absolutely. And I think they have never left. I think the biblical flood of Noah and the Anunnaki story of Gilgamesh coincide with each other because of the pollution of the DNA pool, which, if you talk about the Nephilim for me wasn't fallen angels. It was the genetic manipulation of our species mixed with the primate species. I believe that there is yin and yang within every race. So for me, the Anunnaki were like, whoa, we went a little too far here. We got our gold. Let's go. Let's destroy what we did so there's no evidence. There's races, interdimensional and in reality, out there that were frowned on what they did to us. They didn't leave us alone. So they tried to destroy the evidence, which any criminal would do.
Well,
you know,
I want to throw this out there, and like,
please.
and I'm not saying this is the gospel or anything like that, but it was said that the Anunnaki, when they were creating the slave race, which was us,
yes,
that they experimented several different times and didn't get it quite right, and that could be some of these creatures that people are seeing.
Oh, okay. Well, you've also got Dr. Zhivago. Here's what intrigues me. If you look into the Sanskrit, they talk about Atom, A-T-O-M. That is easily mistaken for Adam, A-D-A-M.
Yeah.
You've got the Anunnaki who talk about Atom and Eve. They took a rib bone, okay? They took a rib bone from Atom and created woman, which was Eve. Atom and Adam are so close together that could easily be misunderstood.
Right.
Even in the Bible, it talks, well, God took a rib bone from, I'm going to kill this guy.
Well,
You are interrupting my fucking radio show, and I'm getting pissed off. Every time you do this, I get disconnected. I just told this douche off. Are you there?
Yeah. Hello?
Are you there? Okay. I just told this guy to quit freaking calling me. He saw my picture, and now he's blowing up my phone. And okay, so you've got Adam, ATOM, and you've got ADAM. And if anybody would like take the time and research the Anunnaki and read the agnostics, the books of the Bible that were removed from the Bible by the Catholic Church, to where women were supposed to be in charge of the church, number one. Number two, oh gosh, it just left me. Oh, the Nephilim, of course, the fallen angels. Why would they take that out? You know, they took that out of the Bible, but yet our very own Catholic nuns wear the habits, and you've got the Muslims who wear the burqas and cover their whole face. That has to do with the book of Enoch. That is the only book that has to do with. Why would they remove that from the King James Version?
Good question.
I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, I could go on and on and on and on because I am really into. I follow David Wilcock. He is an amazing guy. He is in the process of talking with a guy named Corey Good, and supposedly he was inducted into the secret space program, and it's really fascinating. Do I believe it? Not sure yet, but the story is fascinating. So if anybody has a chance, Google David Wilcock. He's the blonde-headed guy on Ancient Aliens, yeah. And he also has a page called Gaia. He is really into this dude's name, Corey Good, right now. And it's very, very compelling. They talk about that we have the technology for teleportation, that they came to pick him up, like in this ship that took him to the moon and then moved him to Mars. And I mean, it all sounds like sci-fi, like science fiction. But, I mean, I just saw a Facebook post the other day where cars were flying. But we are...
Okay, lost your sound. Michelle, if you can hear me, I can't hear anything you're saying. No sound. Christina, quit munching over and talk to me for a minute. I was supposed to make sure I could hear you because I can't hear anything she's saying.
You can hear me munching?
No, I can see you munching. But I can't hear her.
Yeah, it's on her end.
Michelle, can you hear us? If you can, stick your thumb up. Apparently, she's not hearing us either. We can't hear you. I don't read sign language.
Oh, there she goes.
Oh, me.
She's very knowledgeable. I mean, I'm having a blast just listening to the amazing information that she contains.
Yeah. But she's still over there doing sign language, and I can't. Anyway, if we can get her back, we're going to have to bring this thing down. We've been on long enough.
Yes, absolutely.
Had a ball. I loved it. I had a special call from DJ on 104 Rock Radio in Virginia.
Okay, what was that about?
He was trying to get on the show, but he couldn't get on.
Oh.
And he's just like an interesting guy, and I wish he could have come on. I would imagine he would have added some good questions to the conversation.
Oh, I bet.
Michelle.
Yeah, might as well call it a night then.
We are going to close. Can you hear me? Okay.
Oh, she can hear us.
Okay,
Sorry.
everybody listening, I hope you enjoyed this. We have had a lot of fun. It's been really interesting. I also will mention that this is the farewell Monday night Half Past Dead radio program. As of next week, we will be, Christina and I, doing the Paranormal Graveyard on WCJB
Yay!
in Youngstown, New York. And I will still, after the 1st of May, the first Friday probably after the 1st of May, I'm going to bring back the ghostly stories on YouTube. So we're still going to be, I'll still be doing a show on YouTube. Just one a week instead of Wednesday and Friday because, geez, I get tired. Frankly, he's always accusing me of overdoing it and everything. But anyway, he's probably right. I need to kick back a little bit. But finding information for our show on Monday and that show on Friday will keep me busy enough. Michelle, it's been awesome, and I hope we can bring you back on the show sometime whenever we're not having any technical problems. And love your information. I love it. We've had a good time, everybody. Everybody in the chat room, Mary, Meg, CJ, Karen. I can't remember who all's over here now. I have to go look. Let's
Thank
see.
you, Roger. Thank you for having us all on.
Oh, you're very welcome. Christina, you're awesome.
Thank you. Sorry.
Can't tell who all's still here. I know there's Karen, Mary, Meg, CJ was here. If she's still here, I don't know. But I appreciate it, you guys. We had a great time, and we're going to say fare thee well. And be sure to check out the Paranormal Graveyard on Monday night, the 25th.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry?
Oh, no. I've got this guy that's been calling me, and he just called me again, and I was telling him to shut up. So please, Roger, continue.
He just hung up.
Anyway, Michelle's back. Awesome. We were saying farewell to everybody. Michelle, if you have any links you'd like to give out for people to contact you, go ahead and do that. Okay, I'll take it. She didn't hear me again. Did you hear me?
Yeah, she can't communicate right now.
I can hear you. Just took my Bluetooth off, so yeah, I can hear you.
I was saying if you have any links for people to contact you that you want to give out, that'd be a good time to do that.
Oh, shout out to KPRT. Love you guys. This is my family, thick and thin. We have researched some phenomenal places. If any of you guys come to Louisville, Kentucky, and you want to research Waverly, hit me up. I'll go with you. It's a great time. If you want more information on a case that creeped me the hell out. Oh my God!
Okay. You guys.
Anyway, this douchebag. Oh, can you
Uh,
all hear me?
yeah, I
I'm
hear
still
you.
going to cuss this guy out.
I can't hear her.
Well,
Can you hear me now?
yeah.
This dude keeps blowing my messenger up. Okay, let me tell you something. People do not call me. This is the fastest way to alienate me. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, well, if you come to Waverly, if anybody wants to come to Waverly, I have a good friend who is good friends with Tina Mattingly. We can work something out. If you want to know the location that creeped me the hell out, that pretty much got me in the MUFON, I would be happy to disclose this information if you message me. Michelle Fitzpatrick, obviously, KPRT, Kentucky Paranormal Research Team. If you enjoyed my readings and you would like some more, I do not charge for my readings at all. I do it. Spiritual Awakenings and Awareness is one of my groups. Also, Lady Meridian. There hasn't been much activity on there because I've been too busy chasing. So, I'm sorry?
Michelle, Christina?
Right? Yeah, I'm here.
She didn't understand what you said.
I can't hear her. I don't know if you can.
Oh,
so I'm not sure if anyone else can.
Well,
I can, yeah.
I talk really fast. So, okay. Well, anyway, if anybody needs to get a hold of me, get a hold of Roger, and he can get a hold of me for you. So there you go.
That'll work.
Yeah. Short and sweet. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, too. I thoroughly enjoyed tonight. Thank you so much.
Awesome bunch of people in the chat room, and they were asking questions and participating, and I love that. People calling, listening in from other places. I think it's just cool.
Yeah, it is.
Time, and I would love to do this again sometime.
Oh, me too. This video thing, I've never done that before.
Absolutely.
And I'm totally digging it. So yes, please have me back. Please have me back. Yes, please have me back soon. I would appreciate it.
Okay, I'm going to say fare thee well, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Fare thee well.
In on the 25th for the Paranormal Graveyard, and there'll be there's already an event up, I believe, and the chat room link is there. So come and check us out, and we'll see everybody next week. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.